Hello everyone, it's Mugiwawa and still going strong through my indie game dev journey. And today I would like to share my first ever game jam. So yeah, that was the first time I made a game jam, and that was like during the GMTK Game Jam 2021 that held during like the weekend of June from the 11th to the 13th. And so we did a game that we called Broken Soul in these 48 hours. And we were like a team of 6. There was like 2 artists, Anko and Boss Art. And there was like for the development, there was myself, Strublar, and Hugo, a friend of Strublar. And also then like for the sound, it was Neige that has been working on the sound. And so for most of us, it was our first game jam. So it was like a very enriching experience. And the goal of this video is to kind of share with you what I got from the experience, share a little bit the game we have developed during this time frame. And so first we'll go into what happened during these 48 hours that we had to create the game. Then we'll go a little bit into presentation of the game, and then finally I will go into my final thought. So regarding the game jam, so the game jam started the 11th of June at 20. It was the Friday, and at that moment the team got revealed, because that's a game jam with a team, and the team was joined together. And so we spent like around like roughly 2 hours to brainstorm, try to get the idea there. And so we starting about like having a link between an entity, and so this link was going through like probably like, oh, that could be great if we have like a character and his shadow, and then they're linked, but they can also unlink themselves. And then you can have like 2 pan of the gameplay, like a gameplay when you're linked together and a gameplay where you're split. And so one of the idea was to try to pursue that, and most likely going into the idea of while you are split, you become stronger, and when you're together, like you're more defensive. So that's becoming like basically like you need to split yourself to be able to attack the enemies, and when you come back together, you actually heal yourself. And we were willing to kind of like give a sentiment of feeling of urgency, and so to do that, we actually made that while you're split, you're actually losing life, and that way we thought like we could maybe like integrate like a monster that actually when they touch you, they split yourself in 2, and now you have like this feeling, oh, I need to get back together, otherwise I'm going to die, and all of that. So that was like kind of the goal we were trying to go there. And also like we were trying to add a little bit of storytelling around this idea. And so that's where we started off. And so then we decided to start working on it, so the artist could work on their sprite, and like the coder could actually start working on their stuff as well. And yeah, we started. It took us forever to set up correctly Git. It was the first time in a non-professional environment that I was like working with multiple people on Git, and so like we got trouble, but we finally managed to get there. That's also what game jam are about, like figuring out and learning stuff. And then like Strublar and myself, like we pull out an all-nighter to try to advance as much as we can on the code. And unfortunately, like to be honest, like the game felt terrible. The idea was that we had this character that kind of chase you, and when you split, your shadow, which at that moment transform into your soul, and so we're more like with like the main body and the soul, and that was the 2 things that we were splitting. We're just like mimicking your movement but in an opposite direction, and then you have to go back together to make them join together. And on the paper it was kind of nice, but in reality with the control under the hand, it was really bad. Besides that, like the code has advanced very well, but this game feel was very, very terrible. And so like Saturday at 19, I was like completely smashed, and I decided to go for a sleep. I needed to recover a little bit, And so I decided to go to sleep after being working on the game like for 23 hours straight. And so I took like I was like planning to sleep, and I didn't put any alarm clock, and so basically I ended up like sleeping like a full 12 hours. And so I wake up the next morning on Sunday 7th, and like during the night, Anko managed to finish like most of the art, and so I decided to start integrating the art. And then like I think it was around 8 or 9 in the morning, Strublar wake up again and joined me. And he was basically the savior, because like during the night when I was sleeping, he actually like tried on a separate branch, so I couldn't see the result until he arrived. But it actually worked on trying to improve on the game feel. And so he made like a few changes that actually like started to make a little bit more sense. And then like together we managed to polish a little bit, and the game feel that was feeling terrible, we started to get something that wasn't so bad and actually like could be a little bit enjoyable. And so one of the first things we've done is like we completely decoupled the soul movement from the main body movement, and then you just control like the main body movement with the arrows, and then like the soul movement with your mouse. And that way like it's much more manageable. And we added the fact that the further away your soul is from your body, the more damage you take. So you have like this choice of trying to put your soul away, but at the same time not to damage enemies, like basically the link between your soul and your main body that actually like deal the damage. And so if the link is stronger, well, you can damage like more people, but at the same time you're taking more damage. And so we did like a lot of polish. That's really what was the main focus on Sunday, starting integrating also the sound made by Neige, which all the sound he has made was made from like his mouse, except like the music, but all the sound effect was like basically him in his microphone. So that's an interesting take on the sound design of the game. And then like at Sunday 80 at 18 o'clock, the end of the jam is actually at 20. So I started to push very hard. So guys, we need to build and deploy, because like every time you build and try to test it, most likely something is going to go wrong. And so at that time we build it, tried to publish it, and discovered that the introduction video wasn't working on the web player. And so we were trying to kind of figure out a solution. And so here, like at the last minute, I kind of coded a very simple like frame viewer, so we can like convert the video into frames, and then we just like use like basically a series of pictures that are the frames of the video, and we will display that. And that worked. And then we added also like the end screen, because now we had the frame viewer. But at the last second, we were willing like to add a little micro detail onto the third level, because we have 3 levels in the game. And I was like kind of reluctant to it, because I know what happened when you do last minute build. Something will go wrong, and effectively like something has gone wrong. So in the game we published, the end screen wasn't working. So that's a bit of a bummer, because that was a nice piece of art that was like kind of completing the experience and leaving the player on a good note. But that's the way we learn. Next time, probably like the old people involved will know that it's a bit risky to do this type of things, and that's what game jam are for. So that was basically it for what happened during the day. And so now I will just like jump into the gameplay. So welcome into Broken Soul. So we basically have just a very simple settings that allow you to play with QWERTY and OZRT keyboard. That's just a little touch from like we're French, and therefore like most of us have AZERTY keyboard, while most people do into a QWERTY keyboard. So that was like these little things. And here we have all the person that actually worked on the project. And so let's jump into Broken Souls and discover what it is all about. So you used to be a cheerful and joyful person, but the negativity and bad mood of people around finally broke you. However, you won't stay like that forever. You want to recover your past self, and to do so, you will take care of the root of the problem, making those around you join yourself towards the light, helping you in the process to get back the full extent of your soul. And so here you can choose like actually like 3 characters. So there is like the female one, the male one, and the non-binary one. That was something that was important for our artist to get into the game. So since I identify myself as a male character, I will just pick the male character. And so here you start inside your house. And you have a little tutorial explaining you how to play the game, so you can move like the main body with WSAD. The third developer actually like worked on the animation of characters, but unfortunately we didn't manage to get the animation into the game, so that's why like they're pretty stiff. You can separate from your soul by clicking your left mouse button. And so here you can see, so there is like the little soul that appear, and your soul follow your mouse cursor, and you can see that on top of the screen I'm losing health. When separated, you lose energy, and to regenerate energy, simply renew it with your soul by placing the soul on top of you. And here you can see that my life is going back up. So the thing is, the link between you and your soul bring peace of mind to people, and we have to try to appease our sister next room. So the idea is like by sharing a part of our soul with the other people, we can actually appease them. And so as you can see, like here there is my sister, and so if the link is on top of her, she's getting more happier. And so now that we've eased the sister, that now we have like daddy and mommy that kind of attacked us. And so the principle is actually trying to move around while dodging what the other characters are doing. And congratulations, you feel more confident by helping a family. Your soul is growing. Time to tackle a harder challenge at your school. And so now we arrive at the school, and as you can see, like we start to get a little bit more color, because now we're a little less into the dark, because we actually help people around us. And so now the soul is also like getting stronger, which means that the soul have a different skin and has also another power. So we can actually like bump people around, and we have a little cooldown. And so we can open the things, and here like there is people, and if they touch us, as you can see, I take damage, and so I have to be careful. So here we are inside our school, and there is like the student around the school, and so we're trying to kind of make them happy again by sharing our soul. And here like, wow, there was a projectile against us, and so there is like teacher, and teacher actually are throwing us like stuff, so pens, apple, and they're actually like pretty tanky, so we have to be careful. So I need to be careful, like here and when your soul is inside your body, you're actually like moving faster, which means that it's also like taking a risk to get your soul out, because that way... Okay, so we freed the first professor. I was very close to dying. And now we have to go into the cafeteria and try to help more people. So here we go with the first thing. The AI is very basic. It's just basically like following the player. And you have to make happy everyone so you can advance. And also like here you can see like you can abuse a little bit the AI if you want to. Amazing! You can feel her soul getting close to wall again. One last challenge remains at the park, and now that you help like the people at your school, now you're getting into the park because like you're going to help stranger, and here we have the last powers that allow you to actually link with people you made happy, and so now you have a double link. And so for this one, we just like gonna try to protect everyone, make everyone happy. And you've done it! Your soul is whole again and you help so many in the process. And we have like a little end screen that adapts based on the character you actually used. So that was it for the game, and now we'll jump into the last part of this video, which is like basically what I felt about this game jam. And so let's start with what I actually like kind of disliked about my experience on the game jam. And basically, I kind of hate working under pressure. I'm able to do so, but I really dislike that. And I don't like working without having time to consider what I'm doing. And I don't like not being able to sleep on an idea to beautify it. Like, that's really a process I'm using quite a lot. Is like you think very hard on something, then you go to sleep, you let your brain do its magic, and then when you wake up, you actually find a solution of what you were trying to solve. And that's a process that is really like core into the way I'm working. And all these three aspects that I really hate in my way of working, well, a game jam is just like that. Like you're under immense pressure because you have only 48 hours to manage to do something. Since it's only 48 hours, you don't have the time to really think. Like you have an idea, you have to go for it. Like you can't really like tweak it and take a very long time. Like you just have to go for it. And you have no time to take like this good night of sleep to think about this idea. And so all of that, like basically like the way a game jam works is really something that is entering contradiction with my own way of doing things. So there is nothing to do about like doing games fast and all of that. It's like really like just like this game jam format. I feel like it's not made for me. But there was still like very positive stuff. Like I was very happy that we managed to get something out. And to be fair, it's not so bad. Like controls are clean. We fit the theme. The art is great, and we kind of share a message about like positivity. And trying to get better by actually helping others. And so like in 48 hours getting there is actually not so bad. And also like most of us like learn quite a lot in the process. So based on all of that, my personal take on this is that I will probably do other jams, but with my own rules, because I want to get the benefit from the game jam, but I don't want to suffer the part I hate. And so what I think about that is like probably I love this idea of having a theme imposed on yourself. So that way you can think of stuff in a different way. And I think that helps you grow as a game designer. And so for that part, I really do like that. But if I participate in another game jam with this team, probably what I will say is like, okay, this game jam, what I really want to focus on is improving the game feels of my game. And so here I won't try like to go for a very, very innovative ID and something very different. No, I will probably go for a simple ID, but trying to put as much game feel as I can. Another game jam, probably I will say like, okay, this way I want to push the limit of the idea I song can be silly, but can actually work. And so here that will be the focus. And also in terms of the time frame, I probably like won't force myself to work like crazy under 2 days, but probably like allow myself to have a little bit more time. Unfortunately, I won't be able to publish my game inside the jam, so I will just use the jam as a context, and then I do my personal jam on my side just to grow as a person and as a game designer. Overall, that was a pretty fun experience. I enjoyed doing it, besides like all the pressure that I had during the jam, and I hope to have other experience like that. So I hope you all have a good day or a good evening based on your local time, and see you soon.